Good afternoon. The hunt is on for two men who fled on foot after a high-speed chase through the city's inner west. A stolen Audi was driven through the M8 tunnel before the pursuit came to a screeching halt in Alexandria. Rex Quayle has the latest.
Well, two people are still on the run after an extraordinary police chase came to an end on Lawrence Lane here in Alexandria this morning. It was just before 6 a.m. when a white Audi came to a smoking stop. Three people run out and a short foot pursuit ensues. One woman was arrested by police, but the other two were nowhere to be found. It started a frantic search for these two alleged fugitives, seen and heard running through backyards, crashing into fences and across roofs.
All of a sudden, we hear like a massive loud thud on the roof. It felt like it was next door, like three massive thuds. We see a woman getting whisked away outside in the front, yeah.
The chase was triggered by an incident half an hour earlier in Summerhill. The same group tried to break into a house on Spencer Street. Natalie was sleeping inside at the time.
And my husband said, we think there's someone in the backyard. 2.5 hours sleep. I'm tired.
The group fled in the white Audi from Summerhill, where they were spotted in nearby Petersham. A chase started, then they booked it through the M8 tunnel all the way to Alexandria. Police alleged that white Audi was stolen from an address in Newtown in early May. You can check in with all the latest details on 7 News tonight at 6 p.m.
Kyle Sandilands has paved the way for a reunion with Jackie O, saying she'd be welcome back as co-host of his brand new show. It comes as Sandilands claims he's buddied up with Pauline Hanson, advising the One Nation leader on PR strategy. Tom Saker has more.
Well, good afternoon. It was the first time we've heard Kyle Sandilands speak at length about the drama that's been following him for the last few months. He spoke for an hour on a radio commentary podcast called Game Changers Radio, released yesterday. He talked a lot about Jackie O Henderson, their on-air spat and how they've started to loosely communicate again, but that he may never know what happened between them. But the biggest revelation was that he'd been spending some time in the One Nation camp with Pauline Hanson and Barnaby Joyce, advising them on their media strategy. Take a listen.
Well, I was with Pauline Hanson for a couple of days, just spending some time with her camp in the last... Since all this saga has happened.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just working on, getting their messaging across, which I think has been well received.
Pauline Hanson herself hasn't confirmed this, and she hasn't commented publicly since the podcast was uploaded yesterday, but a spokesperson denied it. Sandilands also said 2GB broadcaster Ben Fordham had been trying to interview him about his court proceedings, but this is what he said in return.
He's like, it was outrageous. It was never going to last. It was terrible mathematics. Who'd be worth 200? It's ridiculous. And then he'd send me a text, hey, mate, do you want to come on? I said, no, you've been a about it. You.
Kyle said his $12 million payout from ARN is a miserable amount of money, but that he really wanted to start working again. He said that his manager, Bruno, had been doing most of the legwork on a new show for Kyle and the matter with ARN, while Kyle himself has been spending a lot of time high on drugs. He's planning on starting a new subscription-based and ad-free show soon.
Treasurer Jim Chalmers has hinted the Albanese government could be open to further concessions on some of its contentious elements in last month's federal budget. Let's go to federal politics reporter Tim Lester in Canberra. Gosh, so many changes, Tim. Those concessions, of course, followed widespread backlash.
My word, they did, Sally. We're more than 5 weeks on from the federal budget. You'd think things would be calm by now, but no. The government is hoping it has calmed widespread anger after the measures announced yesterday. Those tweaks, though, will cost the Commonwealth over coming years hundreds of millions of dollars.
The next steps that we laid out yesterday are entirely consistent with the consultation process that we laid out in the budget papers themselves.
The Treasurer trying to cast the budget softeners as business as usual. The changes lift a ceiling on the 50% capital gains tax concession from businesses with a $2 million turnover to a $10 million turnover.
Well, I'm actually really happy that they've introduced this, because going from 2 million up to 10 million
encompasses so many more small businesses.
Sydney-based clothing designer Ali Leonard says the change comes at a time when it's needed.
Right now, this is feeling a tougher economy to me than we did in COVID.
The government has also backed off changes to testamentary trusts, the Treasurer accusing the opposition of a scare campaign on the issue.
What a load of nonsense. Seriously, he wanted to impose death taxes on Australians.
Also benefiting from the government's rethink, so-called innovative startups, whose investors will get to keep the 50% capital gains tax discount. The CEO of Perth-based drug development company Argenica applauding, but telling 7 News her and other biotech chiefs had discussed quitting Australia.
Where would we go? Is it, are there better places in the world to be a biotech company? Those conversations were absolutely real.
Treasurer Jim Chalmers says consultations with startups is ongoing, so Sally at least implies that there may yet be more changes.
OK, thank you very much. Tim Lester there in Canberra for us this afternoon. We have some breaking news. Talks between the US and Iran in Switzerland have been called off. The White House announcing while it looks forward to beginning technical talks as soon as possible. Vice President and lead negotiator JD Vance will no longer be heading to Europe this weekend. The US has already lifted the naval blockade on Iranian ports, reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's Supreme Leader has also spoken for the first time since signing the 14-point agreement, saying Donald Trump made the deal out of desperation. We'll have more details on this breaking news in 7 News tonight at 6. The Socceroos are preparing for their next World Cup clash in Seattle, where they'll take on the United States early tomorrow morning. It comes as Australia rides the high after our stunning win against Turkey in their Group D opener, and Rob Scott is following the team.
Well, this is the Socceroos' first look at the surface here at Seattle Stadium, where they hope to prove the doubters wrong tomorrow and send the US team packing. The squad making the trip up the coast from their home base in Oakland today, where they had their last training session before tomorrow's clash.
Yeah, everyone's looking good. Obviously, the spirits are up after the other day, so training's been really good this week and everyone's looking forward to the game against the US.
Of course, it'll be a difficult challenge, but one that we've prepared well for, and we come in with confidence, and we have our own belief as well that we can also cause them some problems.